I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I did. All right, so welcome to episode number 2. We're going to be talking about stress and its impact on the body. This is our second video, so we're going to start coming out with these more weekly because I just want to help, get different information out there, and to me it's easier to talk than it is to sit and type. I think it's really important to understand the physiological changes in our body to be able to understand what's going on and how to address it, how to make that lifestyle change, how to better improve our health. If you're having anxiety, if you're having depression, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not giving medical advice. But resorting to a pharmaceutical is going to address the symptom, but never really address that root cause. Having high blood pressure medication, taking that pharmaceutical isn't never going to change your blood pressure. There must be lifestyle changes. There must be education. We must understand what's going on behind the scenes to better address and change. But understanding the importance of chronic stress on the body is important when it comes to health and wellness. You know what I mean? Chronic stress, we just think of, I'm stressed out or doing this or doing that, and it's just kind of impacting the way I'm thinking or the way I'm doing stuff, or, makes me more irritability, makes me a little more irritable, sorry. But understanding what that stress is actually doing down to a cellular level is really important for health, and this is something that we're not taught so often. So understanding when this stress arises, we're able to recognize it and kind of shift our perspective into finding things that reduce stress. One of the things, obviously, I'm going to talk about CBD because that's kind of what we do, but I'm going to be talking about other herbs as well. But CBD helps to, it's an anxiolytic, helps reduce anxiety naturally. It helps dilate blood vessels, which also takes the workload off the heart. The heart's happy, we're happy. Kind of helps to reduce the stress also. But there's a bunch of other different things that take place behind the scenes that we're not fully aware of. Whenever our sympathetic nervous system is engaging, we're in a fight or flight mode. Maybe you've heard that before. And we can think of it in terms as a tiger chasing us through the woods. So if a tiger's chasing us through the woods, our body is in a fight or flight response. So we're going to have blood shifted away from vital organs, like our stomach, and it's going to be shifted and shunted towards more, where it's able to be utilized more. And in this case, it's going to be shunted to the lungs. It's going to be shunted to the circulatory system. It's going to be shunted to our legs to help power our legs to run away. But whenever that sympathetic nervous system is engaged, we're getting a release of hormones that are changing the way our cells function. And it releases norepinephrine, epinephrine, cortisol. It's going to increase our heart rate. It's going to constrict our blood vessels. It's going to bring the blood pressure up. And it's going to focus less on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, the cellular, growth, regeneration, cell regeneration. I just said that twice. But also whenever our sympathetic nervous system is engaged, it's going to be releasing, it's going to increase our blood sugar. It's going to increase our cholesterol, which is also bad on heart functioning. Now, cholesterol is necessary for vital cellular activity. I'm talking about elevated cholesterol over a long time, over chronic stress. So if we're not addressing that chronic stress, it can have a big impact on our system functioning. Like I said, keep repeating the same thing, but hey, it's what I do. So if our sympathetic nervous system is always being engaged, our immune system functioning is going to be decreased. That's more of a parasympathetic. That's a rest and digest, cellular repair. If we're in a state of always chronic stressed out, we're not going to be thinking clearly. We're not going to be having our immune system functioning properly. So having something that is causing stress on us every day, day in and day out, is going to impair a lot of our bodily systems in the way that it functions. It's going to be in a state of chronic stress. We're going to constantly have high blood sugar. We're going to constantly have increased cholesterol. We're going to constantly be flooded with cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. And we're always going to be going. And that's really bad for our overall health, chronic health, gut functioning. We're going to be foggy thinking. We're going to have less energy. We're going to just be totally exhausted all the time because we're never able to fully repair. So finding something, reducing that stressor out of your life, and finding something that helps reduce that mental and cardiac workload. I shouldn't say that because we're not giving medical advice. I'm teaching you, how to address these concerns, notice them when they come on, and kind of divert away. But and herbs together as a whole should be utilized. I don't mean just CBD, although CBD is great for many things like anxiety, depression. But I'm talking about other herbs as well. So like valerian root, chamomile, lavender, and they're really good on providing ease to our nervous system, to our central nervous system. So it's going to reduce the edge, reduce anxiety, take the edge off. And like I said, I recommend, people taking herbs every day, including CBD. But, whether you want to have them in teas, you can use those medicinal herbs like I mentioned before, and there's a ton more out there. A quick Google search would probably give you more insight to that. But utilizing those herbs, whether it's teas or tinctures, we're going to eventually go over how to make tinctures using herbs. We're going to go over tinctures, how to make them using our CBD flower. This is going to be a great way for people who want to utilize CBD, but they don't want to pay the $35 a bottle. We're going to teach people how to buy an ounce of the flower and just make it at home. You know what I mean? So I think all of this stuff is really informational, especially when it, focuses on our health. And yeah, we're going to constantly be putting new videos out, having different topics of discussion. But just to recap, chronic stress is bad on our system functions. Chronic stress is bad on our bodily systems, the way it's supposed to function. We're supposed to keep a balance, a homeostasis. We're not always supposed to be in a state of go, 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 because the other side of the picture isn't able to work like it should. It's going to create chronic stress, it's going to create chronic oxidation, it's going to create chronic inflammation, it's going to depress our immune systems, it's going to mess with our blood sugar, mess with our cholesterol levels, negatively impact our brain functioning, negatively impact our circulatory system, our heart functioning. So maintaining homeostasis and finding something to balance and address those stresses is a great thing. This is why I resort to alternative medicine and more healthier forms of reducing stress, like cannabinoids or cannabinoids, different herbs, different tinctures, different teas, stuff that has calming effects on our nervous system, because if we're stressed out, we want to disengage that sympathetic nervous system and engage our parasympathetic, the rest, digest, the